Okay, philosophy on leadership, specific values. I've got the five points of a successful company, and I'm going to get into that. But like, it seems to me like yours is all about respecting people and treating them right. But give me your general view on leadership and running a business.
Well, there are a couple of questions there, so
Yeah.
let me break them down. I once heard a lecture on leadership. It is the single best lecture on leadership I've ever heard. In fact, I will say I've not really heard a great lecture on leadership before, other than this one. And the speaker, who spoke for an hour, he said, okay, there are three kinds of leadership. And I really believe this. And he was up on an elevated stage, maybe 100 people in the audience. And he figuratively said, okay, imagine I've got a marker board behind me. And he, outlined a rectangle. He said, now, lower right-hand corner, drew a circle. And he actually, I think he had a marker board behind him. It drew a circle, put an A beside the circle. This is one kind of leadership. It's called authority. You're the general in the army. You say, face right, everybody faces right. Mm-hmm. Then he went over to the center of the marker board, in the middle up, drew another circle, put an I behind it. Influence. You have no authority, but you have the ability to explain what you think other people should do and cause them to do what you want them to do. Example, Martin Luther King.
Right.
There's a third kind of leadership. He went over to the other side of the marker board and drew a circle and drew a big E behind it, beside it. He said, that's example, big E, example. And he cited an example out of a World War II movie. The Allied troops need to take a hill in order to get to the bridge on the other side of the hill to blow it up to keep the German tanks from coming in. Mm-hmm. But there's a problem. There's a German machine gun nest at the top of the hill. And the machine gun nest has kept 200 Allied troops in a trench at the bottom of the hill. They can't get over the hill. And they've been there for 2 days. Then, this is the example. It's dusk. You can still see, but you can't see real well. All of a sudden, one of the 200 soldiers jumps out of the trench, doesn't say one word. It's dusk. You can't tell whether that's a private or you can't tell what the rank is. And the one soldier starts running up the hill toward the machine gun nest. And within 2 seconds or 5 seconds, 199 other soldiers jump out of the... They follow him, and they take the nest. They go over, blow up the bridge, the wall,
That's a great example.
It is. And now the best leader is take each of those circles. Authority, you got the authority. Influence, you can articulate why, and you walk the talk. And those circles are right on top of each other.
That's a great answer. That's awesome. How do you protect corporate culture? How do you keep it thriving?
You made a reference. For some reason, I had a long airplane flight a number of years ago, and I started thinking about what are the part of the characteristics that separate a truly great company from one that just is merely good, and I ended up with 5. And the first and most important by far was corporate culture.
Right.
So what is corporate culture? Corporate culture, to me, corporate culture is a set of shared values and a shared work ethic. Shared values and a shared work ethic. And I also believe that if you have a sufficiently large number of people with the same shared values and the same work ethic, that the laws of physics come to play. I was terrible in physics in high school. I remember only one thing, and that is that mass attracts mass. And I think that applies to people. And if you have a critical mass of people with shared values and a shared work ethic, they will attract other people with similar values and a similar work ethic.
So do you think if one gets in that doesn't have similar values or work ethic, they may pick it up because they're in the middle of all those people?
I would hope that'd be the case, but more likely it's the opposite.
Yeah.
That they will conclude that they really are not comfortable.
So it's
And
like-minded
they select
people
out.
want to be around each other.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that.
And the way you protect it, two things. One, you talk about it. You say the corporate culture is the most important characteristic of any successful company, and then you've got to walk the talk.
Yeah.
And but talking about it is really important, because telling everybody that in our company we have a culture committee, and it's 1/3, it's about 14 people, 15, and 1/3 change each year, and it'll range from the newest person, or somebody maybe been with the company for 4 to 6 months, to somebody who's been with the company for 25 years.
That's smart. So you got a blend of people.
Right, and very and it has no line authority at all. But we'll meet for 2 hours over lunch, and we'll just talk about things that are happening. How does this feel? What do you?
Right.
And it's an excellent, and just the fact that you have a culture committee
Yeah. Shows people you care.
makes a statement
I totally agree.
to everybody else.
Because like for me, because I read all this before I came in here today, and I was thinking about, there's been several times as I've been building my company where I didn't feel good about the culture. And the more I thought about it while I was preparing for this, it was probably more driven by me than the people, because I've evolved into a better leader in person than I was when I was in my 20s and 30s. And it was kind of a little bit of a rude awakening for me to kind of just face that, because there was a time, like, I feel like our culture is really solid now, because it's about letting people know you love them and care about them, right? And that they matter.
Yes.
And they're just not a number, it just runs over you in everything you say. It's about treating people right.